Hi, I'm Zeke Peach with Electro Automatic, the leader in programmable, auto-ranging DC power supplies, bidirectional power supplies, and electronic loads. Today I'd like to demonstrate the seamless transition from source to sink mode in our PSB bidirectional power supplies, and quickly compare it to the traditional method of using a power supply in parallel with a load to source or sink current. So what we have is a PSB, and the output of that PSB is connected to a PSI power supply and an ELR load. And what I'm going to do is just basically show how quickly the PSB can switch between sink and source. And the way the unit does that is to compare the voltage that's programmed versus the voltage on the output. And this is assuming that you have sink mode enabled. So if your power supply is set at 10 volts, and let's say you're connected to a battery. So if the power supply is at 10 volts and your terminal voltage is 12 volts, this battery is going to push current right through that power supply and effectively discharge the battery. If the opposite's true and we program the power supply for 12 volts, but the battery terminal is 10 volts, the power supply is going to automatically start to charge the battery. And that's true if the output is a battery or some type of load or something that can also push current in two directions. So our PSB is set up for 20 volts, a 10 amp current limit on both source and sink. The power supply PSI is set to I'm going to vary it between 18 volts and 22 volts, so just either a little less or a little lower, or excuse me, a little higher than our PSB bidirectional power supply, so that it switches between sink and source mode, and then our ELR is going to capture any of that current that may not be going through the PSB. So right now everything's on, and we've got again 20 volts power on our power supply, or excuse me, the PSB. And if I come over to the PSI and bump it up to 22 volts, or excuse me, come down to 18 volts, then we see the power supply switch, or the PSB switches to source mode, and it's now outputting 5 amps. The PSI is no longer outputting current because effectively the PSB is doing that instead, and our ELR is now absorbing or sinking that current of 5 amps that's coming from our PSB. If I come to the PSI and increase the voltage so that it's above our PSB, now the PSI is outputting 10 amps. 5 amps of that current is now going through our PSB, and 5 amps is going through our ELR. If I turn off the ELR, now you can see all the currents going through our PSB. I'm going to turn that back on, and if you watch the scope, as I vary the voltage here on our PSI, you can see the current, which is the pink line, switch from a positive to a negative current and then right back. And it's really that simple. It's switching between source and sink mode is just a function of the PSB voltage setting and what it's actually seeing on the terminals, so that it knows whether to push current out or to start sinking current. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, requests for future videos, or would like to see an online demo, please visit our website and contact us for more information. Thanks.